This is a strategic scenario based on publicly available U.S. Navy doctrine and Iranian military capabilities. It explores what could happen if Iran launched its maximum coordinated attack on a U.S. carrier strike group. Coast, air, sea, mines, all at once. 3 a.m. local time, the Strait of Hormuz, 47 anti-ship cruise missiles launching from coastal bunkers, 63 IRGC fast attack boats accelerating to 45 knots, 2 Iranian Ghadir-class submarines diving to attack depth, 240 acoustic mines waiting along the strike group's evasion routes, and 1 lieutenant commander in the Combat Information Center who had been warning her chain of command about this exact scenario for 17 days. In the next 2 hours, USS Gerald Ford and her strike group will face the largest coordinated naval attack any American warship has experienced since World War II. They will burn through $14 million of interceptor missiles, take 3 hits, kill an estimated 470 IRGC personnel, destroy 38 hostile vessels. This is what happens when Iran throws everything it has at a single American carrier. Here is how it could unfold, minute by minute. 17 days before the attack, Lieutenant Commander Sarah Reyes filed her first warning. Iranian coastal communications had shifted patterns. IRGC frequencies had become 43% more active. Mobile missile launchers had begun rotating positions every 6 hours instead of 12. 3 new submarine acoustic signatures had appeared on hydrophone networks. Iran was preparing for something. Her first 2 reports came back marked routine, no further action required. Her third report reached Rear Admiral Michael Hayes on day 11. Hayes had served on Arleigh Burke destroyers during the 2019 tanker incidents. He read Reyes's analysis in 7 minutes, then picked up a secure phone to Norfolk. 6 days later, USS Gerald Ford received deployment orders her crew did not understand. Combat air patrol tripled. ASW operations intensified. A second P-8A Poseidon detachment forward deployed from Al-Udeid. USS Gerald Ford was not on routine patrol that morning. She was waiting. 2:58 a.m. The Combat Information Center aboard USS Gerald Ford was at Modified Condition 1. At 2:59 and 47 seconds, the AN/SPY-6 advanced radar on USS Lyndon B. Johnson, the Arleigh Burke Flight III destroyer providing forward screen, picked up its first contact. Then its second, its 11th, its 27th. 47 anti-ship missiles launching simultaneously from 12 coastal positions along a 200-kilometer stretch of Iranian coast. 28 Noor cruise missiles based on the Chinese C-802 design. 11 Ghadir cruise missiles with 300-kilometer range, and 8 Khalij Fars anti-ship ballistic missiles descending from 40 kilometers altitude at Mach 3. The Aegis combat system, built by Lockheed Martin, integrated with SPY-6 by Raytheon, classified all 47 contacts in 2.3 seconds. USS Lyndon B. Johnson opened her Mark 41 vertical launch cells at 3 a.m. and 4 seconds. 16 RIM-174 Standard Missile 6 interceptors left the launch tubes in the first 6 seconds, $4.3 million per missile. And from coastal launchers Iran could not yet see, 63 IRGC fast attack boats began their run. Here is the full picture of what Iran threw at USS Gerald Ford and why no single American defensive system could handle it alone. Threat Axis 1. Coastal missiles. 47 missiles from 12 launch positions. Counter. SM-6 interceptors, ESSM Block 2, and final layer Phalanx CIWS. Threat Axis 2. Fast Attack Swarm. 63 IRGC PACAP and Tondar boats with anti-ship missiles, RPGs, and machine guns. Counter. MH-60R Seahawks with AGM-114 Hellfire, A-10 Warthogs with the GAU-8 Avenger cannon. Threat Axis 3. Submarine warfare. 2 Ghadir-class diesel-electric submarines with heavyweight torpedoes. Counter. P-8A Poseidon, USS Indiana operating in passive listening mode, MH-60R dipping sonar. Threat Axis 4. Sea mines. 240 mines pre-positioned along evasion routes. Counter. AN/AQS-20A mine hunting sonar from MH-60S helicopters. 4 simultaneous threat domains. one American carrier strike group. Iran's plan was not to win. Iran's plan was to make the cost of winning unacceptable. 3 a.m. plus 6 seconds. The first SM-6 left USS Lyndon B at Mach 3.5. The interceptor received mid-course updates from the Spy-6 every 0.4 seconds. At 32 kilometers from launch, the SM-6 transitioned to active radar terminal phase. The Iranian Noor missile, traveling at 0.8 Mach at 15 meters above sea level, had no warning, no countermeasures, and no chance. Both warheads detonated at 3 a.m. plus 11 seconds. 46 Iranian missiles still inbound. The Aegis system did not blink. The next 16 SM-6 interceptors were already in flight. At 3 a.m. plus 18 seconds, the 8 Khalij Fars anti-ship ballistic missiles entered terminal descent. Diving from 40 kilometers altitude at Mach 3, maneuvering during descent. The Spy-6 had been hardened against exactly this threat. USS Lyndon B and USS Stockdale fired simultaneously. Standard Missile 3 Block 2A interceptors, jointly developed by Raytheon and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries at $36 million per missile, left their cells in a coordinated salvo. 2 minutes and 12 seconds later, all 8 Khalij Fars missiles ceased to exist between 15 and 35 kilometers altitude. The intercepts were visible from Bandar Abbas, 270 kilometers away. Iranian observers watched their most expensive weapons destroyed by even more expensive American weapons. 39 Iranian missiles remained inbound. 3:11 a.m. The second threat axis materialized. 63 IRGC fast attack craft approaching from 3 directions simultaneously. The lead vessels were Paykop-class missile boats carrying 2 Kausar anti-ship missiles each. Behind them, Tandar-class boats with twin 12.7mm machine guns. Behind them, Boghammer speedboats packed with explosives designed to ram. 2 Boeing P-8A Poseidons orbiting at 20,000 feet classified all 63 contacts in 17 seconds. Threat assignments uploaded to 4 MH-60R Seahawk helicopters lifting off from the strike group. The first MH-60R fired its first AGM-114R Hellfire missile at 3:13 and 42 seconds. The first Paykop boat ceased to exist 11 seconds later. The Hellfire's high-explosive warhead punched through fiberglass and detonated the boat's missile fuel. 3:22 a.m. A pair of A-10C Thunderbolt II attack aircraft entered the engagement area from Al Dhafra, UAE. The A-10 was designed in the 1970s to kill Soviet tanks. The Air Force has tried to retire it 4 times, each time prevented, because the A-10 has the GAU-8 Avenger 7-barrel 30mm rotary cannon, 4,000 pounds, built by General Electric, 3,900 depleted uranium rounds per minute. Hog 1-1 descended to 30 meters above the waves and squeezed the trigger for 1.1 seconds. 71 rounds of depleted uranium impacted a Tandar boat that disintegrated within 0.6 seconds. 62 boats remaining. 3:38 a.m. The third threat axis activated. 2 Ghadir-class Iranian submarines, designated by U.S. intelligence as Yono-3 and Yono-4, had been transiting submerged for 6 days. Their mission? Reach firing positions on opposite sides of the strike group, fire 4 heavyweight Hoot torpedoes simultaneously, and disappear. The Ghadir is small, 120 tons displacement, 15-man crew, indigenous Iranian build based on the North Korean Yono design. When operating on batteries at 3 knots, the Ghadir is extraordinarily quiet. The problem for Yono-3 and Yono-4 was that the United States Navy had spent 3 days seeding the Strait of Hormuz with AN/SSQ-125 multi-static sonobuoys, providing passive acoustic coverage of 2,400 square kilometers. Yono-3 was detected at 3:38 a.m. and 12 seconds. The acoustic signature was unmistakable. The contact transmitted to USS Indiana, a Virginia-class fast attack submarine built by General Dynamics Electric Boat at approximately $3.45 billion per copy. USS Indiana had been operating in passive mode 4.2 nautical miles south of Yono-3 for the previous 14 hours. USS Indiana fired two Mark 48 ADCAP heavyweight torpedoes at 3:40 a.m. and 7 seconds. The Mark 48, manufactured by Raytheon, weighing 3,520 pounds, traveling at 63 knots, is the most lethal anti-submarine weapon ever built. $3.5 million per copy. Yono-3 attempted an emergency dive. The Mark 48 ADCAP does not lose contact during an emergency dive. Yono-3 ceased to exist 280 meters below the surface. Here is the cost accounting for 2 hours of combat and why this scenario teaches a specific lesson. American expenditure: 47 SM-6 interceptors at $4.3 million each, 16 SM-3 Block 2A at $36 million each, 24 ESSM Block 2 at $1.5 million each, 32 AGM-114R Hellfire missiles, 4 Mark 48 ADCAP torpedoes, 8,400 rounds of 30mm depleted uranium, 14,800 rounds of 20mm tungsten. Total American weapons expenditure, approximately $890 million in 90 minutes. Iranian expenditure, 47 missiles destroyed worth $94 million. 73 fast attack boats destroyed worth $87 million. 2 submarines destroyed worth $50 million. 240 mines worth $12 million. Approximately 470 IRGC personnel killed. Total Iranian losses, approximately $243 million plus 3 coastal facilities. USS Gerald Ford, 3 hits absorbed, 4 sailors killed, 47 injured. Operational capability degraded by 11% for 72 hours. America spent $4 for every $1 Iran spent. America lost 4 sailors. Iran lost its entire offensive maritime capability for the Strait of Hormuz. The exchange ratio was unfavorable. The strategic outcome was decisive. This is what modern naval warfare actually costs. 3:58 a.m. 14 Iranian missiles had penetrated outer layer SM-6 defenses and reached the inner defense layer. The RIM-162 Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile Block II, built by Raytheon with active radar seeker and 50-kilometer range, engaged 11 of the 14. The intercept ratio at terminal phase was 1.2 ESSMs per incoming missile. Only 3 Iranian missiles remained inbound. They reached final defense range, 500 meters from USS Gerald Ford. 3 Phalanx Mark 15 close-in weapon systems engaged simultaneously. The Phalanx, built by Raytheon, nicknamed R2-D2 by sailors, is a 20mm Gatling cannon firing tungsten rounds at 4,500 rounds per minute, guided by its own self-contained radar. The first incoming missile was destroyed at 312 meters from Gerald Ford's hull, the second at 287 meters, the third at 251 meters, and one more Iranian missile, a Noor that the Aegis system had missed in the chaos, impacted USS Lyndon B Johnson at 3:59 a.m. and 12 seconds. The warhead penetrated the hull 2 meters above the waterline. 2 compartments destroyed, 16 sailors killed. Damage control contained the fire in 11 minutes. USS Lyndon B Johnson remained operational. At 4:15 a.m., USS Gerald Ford launched her counterstrike. 8 F-35C Lightning II aircraft, Lockheed Martin, $94 million per aircraft, each carrying 2 AGM-158C long-range anti-ship missiles with 500-kilometer standoff range. 3 coastal Iranian missile facilities ceased to exist between 4:32 and 4:47 a.m. The Strait of Hormuz remained open. 5:15 a.m. The sun rose over the Persian Gulf. The Strait of Hormuz remained open. 16 commercial tankers transited the strait between 5 and 7 a.m., carrying 12% of the world's oil supply. Brent crude rose 14% during the engagement and returned to baseline by noon Eastern Time. USS Gerald Ford remained on station. The engagement had consumed 3% of her aviation fuel, 11% of her interceptor loadout, and 4 sailors. She launched routine combat air patrol at 6 a.m. Iran's Operation Hormuz Gatekeeper, designed over 18 months, intended to force the United States to accept Iranian dominance of the world's most critical maritime choke point, was eliminated as offensive capability in 90 minutes. In this scenario, the lesson is not that American technology is overwhelming. The lesson is that American technology, integrated with American doctrine, integrated with one lieutenant commander who refused to stop filing reports, is overwhelming. Iran threw everything it had: 47 missiles, 63 boats, 2 submarines, 240 mines, and 18 months of preparation. The United States Navy threw 70 years of accumulated combat experience, doctrine refined since 1942, $300 billion of integrated systems, and one officer who noticed an anomaly in IRGC communications patterns 17 days before anyone else did. Doctrine won. In this scenario, doctrine won. What if Iran had not launched the swarm attack? What if Tehran had chosen patience, slow mining, prolonged ambiguity, sustained economic pressure on the global oil supply? The answer is uncomfortable. Iran might have achieved its strategic objective without firing a single missile. Iran chose the attack. Iran lost everything. That was Iran's choice to make.